He was in a meeting when his phone lit up. Not vibrating on the table, ringing. His wife never called him at work unless something had already gone wrong. Her voice was thin, stretched tight around panic. "You need to come home. Now." "What happened?" he asked, already standing. "I can't, just come." The line went dead before he could argue. That bothered him more than the panic. She had always explained things. Even emergencies came with context. On the drive back, he cataloged possibilities the way he always did when control started to slip. Fire, gas leak, break-in, medical emergency. Each one frightening but containable. None of them required secrecy. He heard the sirens before he saw the house. 3 police cars were angled along the curb, lights off but engines running. An unmarked sedan idled behind them. Neighbors stood in small, careful clusters, pretending to check phones or mailboxes while watching everything. The house looked intact. No smoke, no broken windows. His daughter burst through the crowd the moment she saw him. She ran into him hard enough to knock the breath out of his chest. She was shaking. "Dad," she said, gripping his coat. "Don't go inside." He pulled back just enough to look at her face. She wasn't crying. Her eyes were dry, fixed, too alert. That scared him more than tears would have. "What are you talking about?" he asked. She shook her head. "Mom doesn't want you to see." He looked past her toward the front door. It was open. An officer stood just inside, half-turned, as if guarding something invisible. "See what?" he asked. She swallowed. "Please." For a moment, only a moment, he considered listening. Staying outside. Letting whatever process was already in motion finish without him complicating it. That instinct surprised him. He realized how quickly his own authority had been replaced by silence and urgency. He gently moved her aside. Inside, the house felt wrong in subtle ways. Drawers open. A dining chair out of place. The smell of coffee gone cold. Not chaos evidence. His wife sat at the kitchen table. An officer stood behind her. Another was speaking quietly into a radio near the hallway. She did not look up when he entered. On the table lay an open laptop, a stack of printed emails, and a manila folder with his wife's name written across it in black marker. He understood before anyone spoke. Not the details, those would come later, but the shape of it. The duration. The fact that whatever this was had required planning. An officer stepped toward him. "Sir, I need you to stop there." "What's going on?" he asked. His voice sounded calm. He noticed that, filed it away. "Your wife is cooperating with an ongoing investigation," the officer said. "At this point, I need you to remain by the door." He looked at his wife. She stared at the table as if eye contact might make things worse. He waited for her to explain, to contradict, to give him something to hold on to. She said nothing. He scanned the papers without moving closer. Bank transfers. Names he didn't recognize. Dates that stretched back years. Not a single impulsive mistake. An entire parallel structure. "What is this?" he asked, though the question felt rhetorical even as he said it. The officer answered instead. Calm. Precise. Financial fraud. Identity misuse. We're still determining the scope. Fraud sounded abstract. But then he noticed one account number he recognized. A college fund. His daughter's name attached to it. Something in his chest tightened. Not explosively, not dramatically. Just enough to make breathing deliberate. He took a step forward. The officer blocked him with one hand. Not aggressive. Final. "Sir, that's far enough." That was the moment control changed hands. Not when he learned the truth, but when movement itself was denied. His wife finally looked up. Her face held no panic now. Just exhaustion. As if being discovered had relieved her of the work of hiding. "I was going to tell you," she said. He nodded once. He didn't trust himself to speak. He was aware, distantly, that his daughter was somewhere behind him, watching adults decide what would happen next. Another officer approached. "We'll need you to step outside, sir. We'll take a statement shortly." "This is my house," he said. "I understand," the officer replied. But right now, it's a scene. Outside, the afternoon light looked unchanged. The neighbors were still pretending not to watch. His daughter stood on the porch, arms wrapped around herself. He wanted to tell her something solid. That things would be okay. That there was a plan. Instead, he realized how thin those assurances had always been. An officer handed him a card and explained the next steps. Temporary separation, access restrictions, legal counsel. The house behind him was no longer his in any meaningful way, not because of ownership, but because the assumptions that made it safe had been quietly dismantled long before today. As the door closed, he stood on the lawn with his daughter beside him, understanding that the danger had never announced itself. It had lived with them, eaten at their table, and relied on the comfort of being trusted. And now that trust was gone, there was no clear way to replace it, only the knowledge that safety, once assumed, would never feel neutral again.